I can hear that there's a person on the other side of the wall. And so now I'm less inclined to do this, but we've already started, so here we go. Hello my fellow Nations, and happy October, which is Dysautonomia Awareness Month and Sensory Processing Awareness Month. I posted on Facebook at the beginning of the month, and I really wanted to have a video go out before the end of the month. It is currently the 28th, so I have a total of 3 days to have this recorded, edited, and posted. But that is the goal. If it doesn't happen, happy November. What is dysautonomia? Dysautonomia is an umbrella term for a lot of different conditions such as postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome and inappropriate sinus tachycardia, which are the two things that I'm going to be talking about today because they are the two things that concern me, so they are what I know the most about. Dysautonomia is essentially a condition that affects your autonomic nervous system, which impacts things like your brain, your heart, your GI system, a whole bunch of stuff. And so the main things that I suffer with, that I take medicines for every day, is that I have migraines. I have chronic migraines, but they may also be associated with dysautonomia. I also have gastroparesis and heart rate changes and blood pressure changes. So when I go from laying down to sitting up, most people's bodies are able to adjust and nothing changes. You just go from laying down to sitting up to standing and everything is fine. With POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, when you go from laying down to sitting to standing or from laying to standing, your blood pressure drops and your heart rate increases. I think it's supposed to be by more than 30 beats per minute in order to be diagnosed. And so there is a risk of syncope, which is fainting. I mostly experience pre-syncope, which is like a gray out rather than a blackout, so I don't completely pass out, but I am very close to it, where my vision will go completely dark, I will be very dizzy, and sometimes my hearing will be muffled, and that's how I know that I'm like properly close to passing out, is when my hearing starts to go, and then I need to sit down or lay down immediately so that I don't actually pass out. And it can be exacerbated by things like heat. So taking showers can sometimes be tricky because I can feel my heart rate increasing and I'll just feel the need to have to sit down. Or if I'm exercising or walking around campus a lot and my heart rate elevates, I can sometimes get dizzy and feel the need that I need to sit down. This is a very low-key video. I hope to do one that is more formal eventually. Why don't you love me? This is Everest. If you're new to my channel, she is my emotional support cat. Clearly she's very good at her job. So yeah, dysautonomia. I take medication to help with sleeping and with migraines and with GI problems. I also have a bit of chronic fatigue, so I'm very tired all of the time and I always want to take a nap, even after doing simple things like just walking around campus, which can be very difficult when you have to do schoolwork, because I'll come back from class and my brain will be like, okay, time for a nap, and it's not actually time for a nap because it's time to do schoolwork. And then October is also Sensory Processing Awareness Month. Sensory processing issues are very common, and the way that they impact me is lights are usually too bright, noise is too loud, I don't like tight spaces, but it's also a sort of, not an invisible illness, but a thing that people do not know when they first see you that you suffer with that thing. And so I have a video that I made about these before, but I have a whole bunch of fidgety toys on my water bottle that help me with sensory stuff, because when I'm feeling overstimulated, it can help to be fiddly and try to get out my energy, or the excess stimulation around me, I can channel it into something else, and so I play with fidget toys. Yes, so October is dysautonomia and Sensory Processing Awareness Month, and they are both things that you cannot just immediately see with people. People don't know that I struggle with these things unless I tell them. Sometimes it can be difficult because I'll be sitting for class and all of a sudden we'll have to stand and walk somewhere, and I'll stand up and I'll be dizzy, so I have to sit back down, and people are like, what are you doing? Give me a second. When I went to France, I went during the heat wave, and it was the hottest heat wave that Aix-en-Provence had had. And there was little air conditioning, and we didn't have fans in my house. And so walking to school was taxing some days because I walked to school in the middle of the day, or my class was in the middle of the day. So I would go to school about 3 hours early so I could walk when it was cooler outside, because I would get dizzy just walking to school. We're still trying to figure out medications to help manage things, but I have fewer pre-syncope episodes now than I had a few months ago, which is good because passing out is not fun and it's not a good thing. I hope this video has been somewhat informational to you. I want to make a series of videos about different things like gastroparesis and migraines and food allergies and all that fun stuff. And then I've also been asked to do a video about mental health stuff, as well as video about medication, like what meds I'm on, what meds I've found have helped for certain things. So if you have questions about those, please leave them in the comments and I will attempt to address them. As always, thanks for watching. Oh boy, this video is a doozy.